seat, everybody. Raysa, please join us up here. And our elected officials that are here. Danis is here, Danis Rodriguez. Anybody else here? Okay. Oh, Rubén. Oh, I thought you. Him and the commissioner had the same haircut. Very good. Good morning, everybody.
What's up, Max?
Welcome to Cougars in Washington Heights. Bienvenidos todos. Today is a nice day, a beautiful day. Even though it's raining outside, it's a beautiful day because we are here to celebrate one of our own. Fausto Pichardo. Chief Fausto Pichardo. He served he was distinguished here as a precinct commander in the 33rd precinct. I'm sure some of the men and women from that precinct are here, as well as members of NIDO. Give a round of applause for NIDO, please. Vanessa Gibson is the president of the New York Dominican Officers Association, which is doing a fantastic job recruiting young men and women to join the police force. And so we will start by first asking my council member from this district, Council Member Idanis Rodriguez, to give a couple of words of greetings.
More information. I wouldn't be arrested today, right?
Depends on how you act.
Let's welcome the police commissioner, criminal prosecution. You know, there's no word on how we can always appreciate what the community, what the commissioner is doing and the mayor is doing for our community. You know, this is not only limited to Fausto Pichardo, our great Pichardo. This is about the whole community. This is about, you know, the Irish, the Italian. You've been there when you were discriminated in this city. And here today, we still are fighting so hard as Dominican. We are the largest group in the city. We are close to 1 million from the 8.5. And it is one of the few times where we can say an agency is recognizing that we should be sitting in the leadership position. Amen. So, thank you. I know that in the last few years, we elected the first Congressman Espaillat, many council members, assembly members, senators, but being able to see that in an institution that is like a family oriented, that is like you protect each other. And even though we don't have to agree on everything, but no doubt that when it comes to the safety of our children, we rely on the NYPD. Yeah. So I'd like to thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, congratulations. Inspector Chief Pichardo. Thank you.
He's the chief now. We may have over 1,000, but we have over 1 million, but we have one chief, Fausto Pichardo. We're happy for that. And now, allow me to please introduce from the great borough of the Bronx, my good friend who served with me for many years in Albany, former President Rubén Díaz Junior.
Good morning, buenos días. Buenos días. Hay cariño, no hay cariño. Bueno, a mí me dieron un par de minutos estar aquí en Manhattan con ustedes. A Fausto, al jefe Fausto Pichardo, lo quiero felicitar. For those of you who are bilingually challenged, I'm here with cookies, and I said Irish eyes are smiling. We congratulate you. Let me just say this, your family, we congratulate and thank your family. As a member of a family who also knows the concerns, the worries about when one of our family members are out there, whether they're going to come home or not. To the family, I say congratulations and thank you. I know that quite often, many of you men and women in uniform, you also bring the weight of your responsibilities home. And that's not always easy for family members. And so for that, we have to recognize the family members. I'm here not only as a borough president, I'll speak about that in a minute, but I'm here as a resident of the 43rd precinct in the Bronx, where he was the commanding officer. Remember, this is the precinct where Amadou Diallo was shot and killed, and I hate to bring that up, but I have to, back in 1999. And then this is the precinct where we also had Deborah Dana. Two different responses, two different ways to handle and come to the community. The community needed healing. And in that area, you see a man, we've seen a man who has not only been out there with the men and women in the 43rd precinct making my neighborhood safe, but also doing it in a way with respect. You could serve us the best meal that we want. You could serve us your favorite meal, but if it's done in a way where it's disrespectful, I don't even want to eat it. Pichardo, you have shown to be that. To the commissioner, to all of the chiefs, thank you for choosing well. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you because the Bronx last year saw the safest year in the history of our borough. Yeah. Just to put it in perspective, we had the 5th straight year of under 100 homicides in the borough of the Bronx. When I was a teenager in 1990, we had 653 homicides in 1 year in the Bronx. Last year we had 72. And not only that, thank you for finding the right balance, the equilibrium of putting away the criminals, but also showing the community respect. And so you've done that with Pichardo, you've done that with Irizarry, you have a Bronx boy in Monahan, you have also De La Rosa. I don't know, the NYPD is Bronx heavy. You're a Bronx, you have Bronx affiliations as well. But
the whole city.
But I'll say this, you also do it in recognizing a growing community, a vibrant community, in a Dominican community that's also big in numbers in the borough of the Bronx. Pichardo, aside from your duties, I know that you also are the example, you're the face of good policing, especially to the young men of color who unfortunately have found themselves in bad experiences, but more and more, they're seeing that good policing can happen, that you can bring down the crime without, and also not doing too much stop and frisk. You also carry the weight of the face of immigration, that too often and unfortunately has been vilified. That unfortunately, when you see the invective, and despite the invective that you hear from Washington, D.C., you and this congressman right here, and so many of you here, you are truly, truly the face of immigrants and the immigrant population and everything good that we benefit from you. And so for that, we thank you. And I'll stop right here. Lastly, you chose in him as being the assistant chief. You chose in the true spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. because you chose, while we're all proud that he's Dominican and he's the first Dominican chief, but you also chose not because of the color of his skin, but because of the content of his character. God bless you.
We had the Consul General for the Dominican Republic here, Carlos Castillo, is going to share a couple of words with us.
Thank you, comisionado Lee. Muy buenos días, señoras y señores, miembros del NIDO, a nuestro querido amigo Idanis Rodríguez, a Rubén Díaz Junior por sus palabras tan emotivas, al senador Rubén Díaz que nos acompaña en el día de hoy aquí presente también, y a una institución de la República Dominicana como miembro de nuestra comunidad, el doctor Rafael Lantigua, al inspector Arámbola, a Raysa, presidente de NIDO, Y a todos nosotros los dominicanos y dominicanas, el día de hoy es muy especial con el reconocimiento del jefe Fausto Pichardo. Le decía a Fausto que lo felicitaba en nombre del presidente de la República Dominicana, de todos los dominicanos y dominicanas que pertenecen a esta comunidad y en el mío propio, que en el día de hoy me llena de satisfacción decirles esta palabra, porque significa mucho para nosotros los dominicanos y dominicanas que el jefe Pichardo haya sido promovido a jefe en el mes de la dominicanidad. Que viva la República Dominicana y que Dios bendiga a todos los miembros de la Policía de Nueva York.
And we'll be joined also by Councilwoman Vanessa Gibson from the Bronx, who's going to say a couple of words, and then followed by Rubén Díaz Junior, the councilman. The councilman. Not the senator, the councilman.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here. I want to thank my congressman for hosting us today, as well as the New York Dominican Officers Organization, to my good friend, President Raysa. It's great to see you. To all my colleagues in government, Councilmember Rodriguez and the Bronx Borough President, and to the Commissioner and Chief, and everyone who is here. I am so honored. For the past 4 years, I've had the wonderful privilege of serving in the New York City Council as the first woman and the first chair of the City Council's Public Safety Committee, the first woman and the first person of color. And I take a great deal of responsibility and pride because for the past 4 years, I've been able to cultivate a working relationship with the NYPD. We have introduced the Neighborhood Coordination Officer Program to build relationships, and we are so proud in the borough of the Bronx. While we know that we are sharing our Assistant Chief Pichardo with Washington Heights, certainly I had an opportunity to meet him when he became the commanding officer of the 4-3 precinct. And ever since then, we have loved him, we have admired him, we have truly worked in partnership with him. And I think on a personal level, while I've gotten to know the chief very closely, one of the most significant moments where I saw his strength, I saw his resilience, I saw his commitment and his passion is when we lost our brother, Sergeant Paul Tizzolo, last November. And I stood with him as well as his widow, Lisa Tizzolo, and the family and the NYPD and all of our brothers and sisters in blue. And I've never seen anyone hold themselves together because he knew as the CEO, not only did he have to exude strength, but he had to be there for his fellow officers. And ever since then, I've admired him. He's been an incredible partner, an incredible public servant. And look at how God works. God has called him to be Assistant Chief, overseeing the Patrol Services Bureau for such a time as this. And we are truly grateful. Not only has he made history, but he has demonstrated that he is blessed and a child of God, and he is an incredible role model for our little boys and girls, right? They can look to Chief Pichardo and see leadership and public servant. And so on behalf of my friends in the Bronx and all of my constituents in our district, we just want to join together with all of you in the spirit of fellowship and partnership to celebrate our Assistant Chief, to wish him well on his new journey. May God bless you and keep you, my friend. May God bless you. Que Dios te bendiga. Felicidades. My friend, I am always so proud of you, and don't forget us in the Bronx. God bless you.
I'm going to recognize some people that are here, and I know that I will forget some, and of course you know what happens then. But María Luna is here with us today. And María Curi is here today. All the Marias are here because and Manny Ramirez, the community school district 6 superintendent is here in the back. Angela Fernandez from the New York Coalition for Immigration, Immigrants' Rights, and Dr. Lantigua with the immigration. The hospital, let's thank the hospital because they were reasonable. You know, my dean of discipline, Commissioner, back in high school, in Bishop Dubois High School, a Jesuit, he had a big sign behind his desk. And when you went before him, the sign read, "Be reasonable, do it my way." So New York Presbyterian was reasonable, and we want to thank him for being able to keep this establishment open for many, many more years. I'll continue to know two other folks that I want to recognize. Lloyd Williams, who's here with us with the Chamber of Commerce. Lloyd Williams was in the back. And where are the community board chairs? Are you here? In the back, yes, in the Bronx, Community Board 7 in the Bronx. And then I want to recognize two friends of mine that are, I think, founding members of NIDO. They have been very good to me. And they had a lot to do with this event because they felt that it was a moment of pride that we should share with everybody in the community. They are Sergeant Gatro and Manuel Lantigua, who are there with us today. I want to recognize them. Years of friendship and commitment. They both now retired, Commissioner, but we still remember them in good life. And now let's go welcome our good councilman from the Bronx, Rubén Díaz Junior. He writes these columns, but you should know, I'm sure he's going to write one about this. I said Rubén Díaz Junior.
Okay. Buenos días. Good morning. Hoy es un día de julio, un día de mucho prestigio, un día que hace historia en nuestra comunidad. Fausto, el inspector Pichardo, fue inspector de nuestro condado, en nuestra tierra, allá en el país de Bronx, la República del Bronx. Ahora entendamos que todos los oficiales electos del distrito o del precinto donde el inspector Pichardo ejecutó por muchos años, todos éramos puertorriqueños. Marco Crespo, Luis Sepúlveda, yo que era senador del área y el presidente del condado de Bronx. Ahora, no es que el inspector Pichardo pasó a ser jefe. Lo grande es que el comisionado de la policía del estado de Nueva York no solamente lo hizo inspector, porque de inspector sube a una estrella automáticamente, eso es lo que va. La sorpresa fue que no le dieron de inspector a una estrella, sino que lo subieron de inspector a assistant chief de 2 estrellas. O sea, que brincaron más de lo que había que brincar. Yo me acuerdo que estaba en un community meeting con el alcalde allá en el precinto. Y esa noche le dije al alcalde públicamente ante más de 300 o 400 personas que cuándo lo va a hacer jefe. Chicos, todo el mundo hacía jefe menos a él, igual que a De La Rosa. I want to thank you, finally. I want to thank you because De La Rosa was promoted. De La Rosa saw there, he was there, and he saw all the people that came before, after him, and that went under him. He saw all them growing. And he never, of 10 years, nobody looked at him. Finally, the commissioner looked at him, and De La Rosa has been promoted. We appreciate that. Secondly, We thank you. You don't only give me 1 star, you gave me 2. now we pushing for the league. We Puerto Rico and Dominica, we never sacrifice. 2 stars so good. And then I thank you also because you promoted Captain Kevin Taylor, who was pushing too, and finally did it. Now, it's 1 more than you missed.
You can't do this on camera.
Matarazo. Hey, don't forget that name. Matarazo.
Where did she work? Where did she work?
Board President, Rubén Díaz Junior, thank you very much for being my son. Adriano, you are wonderful. Adriano is Adriano. Who would compare to Adriano? Adriano served with me in the Senate.
I had to sit next to him for 6 years.
And every time that I used to take the floor, he would. But I love you guys. I'm in the city council now, and I hope to do some progress, some trouble, create some trouble for you there too. You know this business, you gotta do it. Alto Pichardo, thank you very much, Chief. When you have the vote, the vote. You should be going away from you.
I want to acknowledge there are three commanders here from precincts in my district. You have Inspector Aramboles, who's in the Bronx now. Deputy Inspector Mundo, who's doing a great job in the 34th precinct. I said that because I wanted to do something for him. There's a condition he's taking care of. And Captain Brea from the 33rd precinct. And then finally, we're going to hear from Raysa, because she's itching to get up here. I know, I can feel it. Raysa, don't worry, you're almost there. Before that, I want to introduce our special guest here today. And I really have to apologize to him because I nagged him to death. Every time I saw him, I said, we need a chief. Then another day, I would run into him and say, we need a chief. And then one day I said, I need a chief. And finally said, don't worry about it. We're working on it. But he's done a great job while he's been at the head of the police department. The numbers continue to drop. Crime continues to drop in the city. And this is a neighborhood that knows this very well because we used to average, unfortunately, back in the 80s and 90s, over 100 homicides. Chief Monahan was here. He knows we worked together. Over 100 homicides. 1 year, I believe we went up to 130, 124. And we opened a new precinct, the 33rd precinct. Cougars opened up in the middle of that war. To make this neighborhood better, they put their money where their mouth was. And now we average far too much still, but in the single digits. Probably the sharpest drop in crime in the whole nation happened right here. And so we're indebted to the police department, to the men and women of the police department that put their life on the line to make sure that this neighborhood became an eclectic neighborhood, Reverend. I learned that word when I represented the West Side. And a neighborhood where everybody wants to live in now. And people want to rush and move up here because it's safer, right? Public safety is everything. If you're not safe, businesses don't open up, people don't invest, families move out, and the neighborhood goes down. So public safety is at the center of community stability. So we're very grateful for the men and women of the 34th precinct and the 33rd precinct and the 30th precinct that put their life on the line every single day to make our neighborhood safer. And I cut my teeth as president of the 34th precinct community council when I first got involved, right out of college. I didn't have a scratch in my face back then. So I know that the work that you do is life-saving work, and we're grateful for that. And with that, please allow me to introduce the Commissioner of the NYPD, James O'Neill.
So it's great to be in Manhattan North. We are actually in Manhattan North. We'll talk about the Bronx. I was thinking we were in the Bronx for a second. Some of us. Kathy O'Reilly, thank you for the terrific job. Kathy's the Borough Commander of the Assistant Borough. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for reminding me to promote a committee boss to chief 5 million times. That's okay. Reuben, Adonis, thank you guys, Vanessa. Thank you for all your support, Council General. I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody, but this is a special day. It's a special day for Fausto, but I think it's a special day for the NYPD. David and Pete, thanks for having us up in Coogan's, and I know Raysa, thank you for doing this. It's important for a number of reasons. Number one, because Fausto is such a great. He's a great cop, but more importantly, he's a great human being, and I think that's what we need. Scott Strainer just took my seat. I got a bunch of jokes in that one. But most importantly, Fausto is a great human being. I met Fausto probably almost 10 years ago. I think we had a job at the 2-5. It was a woman was distressed. She was holed up in an apartment with 3 kids. It was a very hot day. It had to be 100 degrees in the hallway. It's the first time I met Fausto, and immediately I knew he was a special human being. His compassion, the way he kept calm, the way he talked to her, the way he talked to the police officers, I knew he was a future leader in the NYPD. Then he came up to the 3-3. He was lucky enough to get a precinct. There's only 77 precincts in the city. It is by far the best job in the New York City Police Department. I did it for 6.5 years. Terry did it for 8 years probably. And the special part about being a precinct commander is it's great that you get to interact with the cops, the sergeants, the lieutenants, but you really get a feeling for the community. I had the park, the 2-5 in East Harlem, and the 4-4 in the South Bronx. And the way people are so passionate about where they live, I think that's one of the great things about being a precinct commander. He was here for almost a couple of years, and then he made a decision to go downtown for Lord knows what reason. Even though I tried to talk you out of it. He spent some months down there, and I think he realized that being a precinct commander is really what he wanted to do. And then he went to the 4-3, and what he did over there is nothing short of amazing. It's not an easy command to run. We had a lot of high-profile incidents that the families over there. It was a tough time, and his compassion shined through every step of the way. I know Lisa's here. You can raise your hand. She's over here. I know she can back me up here. It's good to be a cop. It's great to be, you're a big tough guy and everything, and you keep people safe. But more importantly, you care about your fellow human beings. And I think as the executive officer of the Patrol Services Bureau, you can do amazing work with Riley Harrison. I know it's going to be different. I know you enjoyed your time as a precinct commander, and I still, to this day, I look back at my time as a precinct commander as my best time in the police department. But think about what you've learned, and make sure as you go forward in your career, you always keep that in mind. So I know you remember what it was like to be a cop, and I think that kind of makes you who you are. But remember your time as a precinct commander, and I know the sky's the limit for you. I'm so proud to call you my friend, Manny. Congratulations on your promotion. Terry Monahan, I know you're going to do a terrific job. And, Adriano, thank you. This really means a lot to all of us. Thank you very much. Everybody have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. We want to also recognize the office of the governor of the state of New York that is here today, and also District Leader Manny de los Santos, a young man you're going to be hearing a lot about in the upcoming weeks and months. Yvonne Stinnett, and Cirilo Moronta from 809. Now, let's hear from our. Oh, how's my pension doing?
All good.
Oh, good, okay. The control of the city of New York, Scott Stringer.
Thank you. It's good to be in the commissioner's seat temporarily. So, look, I wanted to come by today, one, to say to Adriano, thank you for bringing us all together. Being here at Coogan's, which you saved last week, we wanted to make sure that we were going to have a celebration for Chief Pichardo, and I want to say this is not just only Dominican pride and community pride, but this is also about our city and the fact that the police department continues to work under Commissioner O'Neill to be more diverse, to be more active with the community, and the results don't lie, right? So let's give them a big round of applause. And I want to thank Adriano for this opportunity to quickly present one of the highest honors you can get besides Assistant Chief. And that is, this is a very big moment, sir. And are you ready? I'm going to present you with the Controller's Commendation. And to Adriano, once again, thanks for doing this. My wife and I were having dinner last night, and the first thing in the restaurant, there's Adriano on CNN, and I'm like, not bad from the guys from the Washington Heights. It's okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now, let's also thank our community affairs. Where's Pape? And Christian. And Rio. Thanks to the community affairs officer that are always here with us. Now let's give it to Raysa. She's going to introduce a bunch of people that I don't know their names, but she's very good. She's very cheap. Raysa Gálvez from NIO, the president.
Good morning, buenos días. It is a true honor and a privilege to stand here before you between so many distinguished guests. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet hasta que yo meta la pata. That's the first thing before I put my foot in my mouth. So in any case, welcome, Commissioner. Welcome, Chief Monahan. Welcome, Assistant Chief Pichardo. Hey, Ramon. Welcome, Chief De La Rosa. And by the way, Commissioner, everyone behind you needs a promotion. This table. And thank you to all the elected officials for coming here today. It's very hard to get cops in the same room as elected officials, and this is definitely a true honor, and it's great to see us united here, especially for the great cause that we have here. We're all celebrating the fact that we finally have our first Dominican chief, Chief Pichardo. I want to also thank Lisa Tuazolo for being here with us today. I know that it's been busy for her last year. Your tremendous support is, you're always praising our support, but it is truly, truly important that the families always come back and support us as well, and thank you for that. One more thing, thank you to Coogan's, Pete and Dave, for having so many people here. You can't tell a Dominican there's a little something, because look at what happens in 2 days. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Team Nido and everyone else that's standing out there. Together we can do this. Thank you, Commissioner, for really acknowledging us. Thank you.
Thank you, Raysa. Thank you so much for everything you do on Nido. Thank you for all the work that you put together every year. You do great work for the community and recruiting young men and women to join the police department. Let me now introduce the star of the morning, Chief O'Reilly. Thank you also for the work that you do in the bar. Much has been said already about this young man. We know him because he was a commander here in the 33rd Precinct. Él fue un comandante aquí en el precinto 33, donde hizo un gran trabajo, igual que Arámboles, que también trabajó en ese precinto. Y queremos reconocer siempre las cosas positivas. We want to acknowledge positive things. Too much negative stuff gets too much attention. It's important that we highlight the positive things that are accomplished in the city. And when one of our own goes up, it's time to celebrate. And so this is an important morning for all of us, for the entire city of New York. Not just this neighborhood, not just Dominicans, not just Latinos, but the entire city of New York is happy when a new face comes in representing a whole new group of people that are an important part of the city. It makes us stronger. That's what makes the city so strong. The diversity that it has in it and how it continues to push forward, allowing people to come in, opening up doors for people to come into different positions of leadership within the police department, the fire department, in public office, in the private sector. This is the great experiment called New York City. And so we're happy to celebrate today the ascension of the first Dominican American, Reverend, the first Dominicano, el primer Dominicano, to be a 2-star chief of the New York City Police Department, Chief Fausto Pichardo. My flight was canceled last night. I had to come in at 6 in the morning, but I took the time to bring a proclamation from Washington. And next week, when I go back, I will be taking a minute on the floor of the House of Representatives to read this proclamation so that the ascendancy of Fausto Pichardo to the 2-star chief of the New York City Police Department is forever enshrined in the minutes of the House of Representatives of the U.S. Congress. I'll just say that today we recognize and congratulate Fausto Pichardo on his appointment to the position of Assistant Chief within the New York City Police Department. I also thank Assistant Chief Pichardo for his hard work and service throughout his entire career with the New York City Police Department. Each and every day, dedicated members of the greatest police force in the world, like Assistant Chief Pichardo, ensure that our children, parents, and neighbors can live safe lives. Assistant Chief Pichardo's career is an example of public service at its finest, having previously served as the commanding officer of the 33rd Precinct in Washington Heights and the neighborhoods of Parkchester, East Tremont, and Southview for the 43rd Precinct in the Bronx. Assistant Chief Pichardo has repeatedly proven to be a strong, productive commanding officer and colleague, and because of his impressive credentials, Assistant Chief Pichardo was selected to fill this crucial role within the police department. Given his dedication to protecting and serving our community, on Tuesday, January 23rd, we congratulate you, Assistant Chief Fausto Pichardo.
So I should be like a comedian and leave on a high note. I don't know if I'm gonna get the round of applause. Listen, it's a tremendous, humbling experience. My world, tell them I'm busy. It was a remarkable day a few days ago, Thursday, and I echo the words of the police commissioner. Being a precinct commander for about 5 years in 2 precincts was an extraordinary job. I've had this job for about 4 days, and I'm going to tell you, it's pretty good so far, too. I want to thank the congressman, and the way I was going to start today was, and I don't have anything prepared, as you can tell, and I'm going to try to be those that know me and have heard me speak at various meetings know I can be a little long-winded. But I was going to say there's no place like home. And then I saw the Bronx Borough President come in. I saw Vanessa Gibson come in. I saw a new council member come in. And I said, I can't say that because then we're going to start a war up here. So I have to tell you, looking around this room, I'm touched by the love that I feel. I see people and police officers. When I was a young sergeant in the 2-5 precinct, the XO and executive officer in the 2-8 precinct, the community members that have come out from when I was such a young captain, Yvonne Stennett, who was like a mom to me in this community. My first conversation when I came up to the 33rd precinct, I had a quick conversation with City Councilman Dennis Rodriguez, and I think we all know who he is, and I said, just do me a favor, don't get locked up here. But an advocate, a voice for this community, a voice for our police officers. It's been a wild ride working in both boroughs with the elected officials and community members alike. But I do want to acknowledge the extraordinary men and women of the police department that are intertwined in this room. I am so optimistic, as you should be as well, not only from the police department perspective, but from the community perspective, because the unparalleled support and dedication that the men and women who are right now, as we sit in this room, are in that street, in all parts of the city, protecting us to ensure our safety. It's something that will be unmatched forever, not only in this city, but in this great country of ours. So, as we go throughout our day, you see your fellow police officer, acknowledge them and thank them for their service. Because together, and there's no doubt that this is in fact a shared responsibility, together the only reason and the only way that the city will continue to thrive is by strengthening those bonds, by ensuring that we do our job, but you do your part too. You support your police, you appreciate what they do, and everything that they do, you hold them to that higher standard, but do it together. So again, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate this is such a wild ride, and I want to thank all my supporters throughout the year, because it's not just about being Dominican, as was said here. I'm a very, very proud Dominican, but I'm most of all a very, very proud cop, and I love cops.
But there's the lady that also is part owner of this establishment. Where's Tess? Where is Tess? She must be in the back. Oh, she's doing the work. Yeah. And let's close. I'm also Father Ambiori, who was from St. Elizabeth, came in. And so we want him to keep all the police officers in his prayers. Let's have to close the event. Please welcome our board president, Gale Brewer.
Thank you very much. I have already texted this wonderful gentleman a few days ago, and he answered within 3 seconds. So it's a big honor to be here. I want to thank the congressman and my colleagues. Coogan's, once again, is a home for all the diversity and the good things in the community. And I saw this wonderful gentleman when he was here in Washington Heights. I never go to the Bronx. I know there's the Bronx. I go to the Bronx. Thank you very much, sir. But the issue is he was at every single event, warm, hospitable, and understood the real backbone of community and NYPD, setting the standard very, very high. We were very sorry when he went to the Bronx, but we're really, really pleased that he's in the position he's in now. Congratulations, PC, Jimmy O'Neill, for making this possible. We all call you Jimmy. I know that's not appropriate, but we don't do that. And we thank you very much for bringing us here today, Congressman. Thank you. It's a big deal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you, Rosita Romero. Thank you, Howard Rosas, Mayor Linwood. Thank you. Oh, there is someone good in the back. Doctora, for those of you that want to have some potassium in your blood and have a very energetic day, you can eat some mango and mag-easy on the cholesterol, please. Not the chichon and the longaniza, that's the cholesterol check. But thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Let's have a photo. God bless you. Keep the faith, everybody.